So let's record, let's get started. Welcome, everybody to the first Rut Report for 2025. Season is finally here. So season here in Idaho opened August 30th. We went up on the 28th. Kind of went and pulled trail cameras on the 29th, and it was awesome. Out of all three cameras that stayed there for 50 days, all three cameras were no longer pointing in the direction that we set them. So it was incredible. We have a lot of just amazing photographs of nostrils, eyeballs, ears, all kinds of stuff. So the elk continue to like my cameras, continue to mess with them. And one camera actually in 54 days produced 1,983 pictures.
Yep.
Of lips.
Totally.
No, it's just elk coming. So we pulled these on Thursday, two of them. So Liz and myself, and then her son, my stepson Jesse Allen, we went up and pulled one. And then we decided, well, we're not going to run back to the truck because I was smart and stuck 2-gallon Ziploc bags in my shorts pocket because I know where this camera is. There is a bumper crop of huckleberry bushes and nobody picks. So we stopped after about a half gallon, got in the truck, went back downtown or back down the hill, and drove right to the place and walked in with the bag and said we would like 3 huckleberry shakes, and sat there and had fresh huckleberry shakes in the deal. But when we got back, so Bryce and Michelle went over and picked up the other one off Up Down. It was going through the camera. There is one of the ugliest raghorn bulls I think I've ever seen in my life on that camera. And since Jesse Allen is brand new, I pretty much told him that's the bull that he needs to shoot. He didn't agree with me, and he asked me why I would make him shoot something that ugly. And I said, dude, because you have to start with something that ugly, spikes or cows, just to get the experience of zipping an arrow through something. So Friday, sat there and talked with him quite a bit about what to expect. I explained setups, I explained what to expect, and I explained the backdoor bull. Saturday morning, we go up to where the new trail camera was and set up there, and we got a bull bugling. We had cows coming in from 3 different directions. We hit it perfectly. We weren't sure exactly what time they came through this area.
Is this live?
Because I hadn't had a chance to check the camera yet. And so because we grabbed the camera when we were up there Saturday morning. So we set up and started doing some calling, and I didn't really want to drop off. It's a bench on a finger ridge, but it's got trails off both sides that then also go up. I didn't want to drop off the right side because there's a trail that comes from the bottom, and I didn't want to interfere, but that bull kept bugling. So I set Jesse Allen up, and I drop off that right side and start calling. And lo and behold, I left my bow sitting up, leaning against my pack, up there at the intersection where Liz was. Well, Jesse Allen went back and sat down by Liz because that bull wasn't coming. Those two were gracious enough to sit there and watch a pretty decent 5x6 roll around the face right behind me. Watch him come walking in. We had a little bit of coverage there. They definitely could have texted me and said, hey, backdoor bull. No, I think they just kind of decided that it was more fun just to see how close that dude was going to get behind me before I finally realized that there was a bull coming up my 6. So needless to say, the answer to that was 32 yards. So,
Oh my.
But I mean, it was a good morning, and then we got on the trail, started following where the bull was heading up bugling, and we end up on this little point in dark timber that just, I mean, my God, there were so many beds in there. It was just powdered. And we got there about 10 o'clock. We kind of set the hammocks out, started chilling, and about 12:30, there was a bunch of elk that started rolling into this place. Well, when elk start rolling into their bedding area and find hammocks already spread between trees in their bedding area, there's usually a conflict of confusion, both on the elk's part and our part of, holy crap, it's a midday bedding area. Now we know.
It's a real
So,
bedding area.
yeah. Oh, but it was kind of cool. So we kind of tore the hammocks down and then just kind of sat there. And then I kind of heard some movement off to the side. So I just did a few calf calls and then could hear it moving through the brush. But it was just you would hear it move through the brush and then just this weird sound. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then finally I looked down and here comes, I could finally see it, and it's a yearling cow. And she comes out 18 yards. And I'm just knelt on the ground in the shadows, and Jesse Allen's there. We both have our bows knocked. And I'm sitting there looking, going, you know, a yearling cow would probably eat really well. That would be nice and tender. I wouldn't have to pack my bow for the rest of the year, and I could just focus on calling for them. But she kept pawing at her nose, and then I would hear that sound that she was doing. I have never heard or seen an elk sneeze, and this cow sneezed probably half a dozen times. So if you ever hear an elk coming in and it sounds like that they are jumping over something and landing into a bunch of packing peanuts, it's an elk sneezing. It was totally bizarre. So, so just kind of watched her for a little bit and just, I mean, it was kind of cool. And I was just letting Jesse Allen experience it. And then she goes off and then we kind of wait there for a little bit. And then about 5 o'clock, I'm like, okay, let's slip out that trail that those elk were coming in, because it looks like there's a bench right down there. And so we drop down there, everybody spreads out, and I start breaking into the curious calf. And the curious calf came wandering in. So, because I started just doing it on my own, and then the calf got going, and then I just started mimicking. And then that little sucker came trotting in and back, forth, across. And I was laughing so hard because everybody could see from where everybody was sitting, me, Brandon, Liz, and Jesse Allen, we could all see where where Bryce was sitting. That calf walked by and stopped 4 feet in front of Bryce. And he's just sitting there, just staring straight. And he later said if Liz was not there, there was probably a good chance that calf probably would have came home with us too. So curious calf was working well. The calf was kind of wandering back and forth looking. And it was kind of funny because the calf would get quiet and then I would just do a high-pitched bugle, and then just that calf would just get going again. And it was working well because where Jesse Allen was sitting, he could look right over the ridge, and there's a creek bottom right there, and there's an opening in the buckbrush, and that's where the calf came from. And sure enough, a 5x5 came down, started crossing the creek, and came up. But right about that time when he was getting on the ridge under Jesse Allen, we had good thermals coming up. Cloud cover covers the sun, temps drop, wind swirls, 5-point goes. So we reposition, drop down a little bit, and I start doing the curious calf again. And I don't know if it was that calf or a different calf, because it started coming. All of a sudden I looked over and coming up the ridge that we had walked on again, over where Bryce was set up, there was a calf walking up that ended up stopping about 10 yards. So Bryce had a calf at 4 feet and a calf at 10 yards doing the curious calf, but we only had the one bull that started coming in. So that was Saturday. Sunday, heard one bugle in the morning. We went into Liz's spot where she got into the 6-point last year. Just so many domestic cattle in there this year. The elk tracks were pretty sparse, and so we went hunting for them. We actually found them. They're actually higher up on the ridge. But we found a really nice, dark, sheltered bench that has a lot of brush vegetation, that has a lot of elk highways through it. And then Monday morning went out on a quick hunt and heard one bugle again. So basically, bugling was Saturday was the best day that we had bugling, but also Sunday and Monday, I noticed the barometric pressure was over 30. That you guys have heard me talk about. Typically, if the barometric pressure is over 30, they don't usually bugle, that much. So, but activity-wise, they were responding well. I mean, we were in elk all day long on Saturday. So, all in all, I think there was 2 shot opportunities or 3 shot opportunities. So, no arrows flew. That was the one thing when I was looking at that yearling cow, I was like, we're only 5 hours into opening day. I'm not to that point yet to stick a yearling cow, even though I know those steaks would have been delicious and tender. So, but hard to do. Okay, so calling activities. The first morning, Saturday morning when got the elk going and got the backdoor bull, I was actually doing the breeding sequence. We actually did it modified because Brandon and I tag teamed, and so we did what we normally do, where I'll start the breeding sequence and then he comes in as a second bull and kind of starts forcing me to become a defensive bull, and that's what really got quite a bit of the traffic coming in on us. It was pretty cool. I mean, we weren't sure exactly the best setup in this place, but where we set up to have elk coming in from 3 different directions. It's a lot of pressure on the collar to make sure that the wind's right for 3 different animals coming in from 3 different directions. But I guess there are far worse things to worry about or have to deal with when you're out in the elk woods. So the curious calf worked amazingly well. In fact, after the 4 feet encounter, Bryce was like, I haven't heard that one before. And I said, no, I went back to a journal notebook and it's called The Curious Calf. I said, Bryce, I haven't done this since you and I started hunting together, and that's 15 years. So 16 years. So it's been a while. I forgot, but he was, he said instead of Curious Calf that we should nickname it Petting Zoo because that's how close the calf got to him. So
let's hear your curious calf call.
It's a whole routine, Larry.
Uh-huh.
So when did 2 weeks ago or a month ago?
Probably
Oh.
2 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago.
I missed that session, and I didn't get the replay of it either.
Yeah, the replays have been uploaded.
Okay.
But basically, it's typically with this, you want to, if you hear cows or if you hear calves in a group, you just want to focus and mimic the calf. Exactly what that calf is doing. Pitch, frequency, if it's singles, if it's doubles, if it's triples, just match that. If you're starting it off by yourself to get that going, so it's an ultra hyper excited calf sound. So, but man, I'll tell you what, that thing where I was positioned, there was a rock face right behind me, and then that kind of rolled down and then benched. Oh, that sound was just echoing. In fact, this calf probably came from 300 or 400 yards out on the other side, jumped up out of bed and came over. But so, okay. Weather-wise was pretty warm. Low to mid 80s, which, at those elevations, pretty dang warm. It's still warm right now, but Friday starts cooling off. We do have a good cooling trend. We also have the full moon coming. The full moon is Sunday, but looking at the weather forecast, working out to where it's basically, at least the area we're at, where it's going to be full on cloudy. So that full moon is going to be blocked in the area that I'm at with the weather that I checked. So if you check your area and it's not going to be cloudy, just remember with the full moon, they're going to go to bed late, they're going to come out early, but your midday activity is going to be increased. So your midday madness is a great time. The other thing that we noticed too is some of the rutting areas that we had a lot of rut sign in last year. There's not very much in there right now, which kind of tells me that maybe the bulls were still out gathering cows and they just hadn't moved back up in there yet. I'm anticipating that they're going to be moved back into those areas, by this coming weekend, and that actually there's going to be some decent bugling activity because we're coming off of this weather change, and also the barometric pressure is looking really, really good for the next 7 to 8 days. So definitely calling sequences, for the next week. I would say stay with the Curious Calf just because it is a really, really fun calling sequence to do. And it's, I don't know, it's just fun to watch them. So breeding sequences there, inviting cow if you want to go that. Breeding sequence, you're not going to go full tilt on it. It's more of a modified where you're kind of ramping down and turning the intensity down on it just a little bit. So, but I think it's actually going to be a pretty decent week. So, Greg, when are you heading up?
Monday morning.
Monday.
Monday
Okay.
morning.
Okay.
I'll be back in October.
You'll be back. It's okay. I know you guys will just log in on the fancy dancy cabin over there. Talk about how hard you guys are hunting in that lap of luxury. So,
Somebody's got to suffer.
I know. I know. So, so it was funny this weekend. Bryce, my hunting partner, got a smoking deal on one of those new Polaris expeditions. So my wife rode in that expedition. For those of you that don't know, the Polaris expedition is the fully enclosed new Polaris side-by-side that rides like you're on air, has heat, has air conditioning, power windows, music, stereo. Yeah, basically after the first ride, my wife got out with a big grin and looked at me and basically said, "And why don't we have one of these?"
Mhm.
Yeah. Last time she made that comment, I ended up having to buy 2 e-bikes and a trailer, and so yeah, this one's going to cost me. So.
Yeah.
But
They're comfy.
yeah, and your gear's not getting all dusty. They ride extremely well. So, all right. Any questions for the first Rut Report?
Are we going to meet like every Wednesday
Yep.
that we can through the month?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. So, Sandy, when are you supposed to make it to camp? Once you get that serpentine belt on?
He's under the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely under the hood.
He's muted too, so he could be talking and thinks that we can hear him, but we're all just ignoring him. Oh, well, so then, Jim, what are you going to do?
Well, I've got friends going up. I've got my buddy Dave that's going up from here, and he hasn't been up in that area but one time. So he's going to come over, and I'm going to go over a bunch of spots that are really good in that area for him. I know that my other friend Roger and another one Harley, they're up there already. They're deer hunting right now.
So you can't lift over 10 pounds, right?
Oh, and I've got a trailer. Everything you put in the trailer. I got to pick my quads up, the back of them up in the backyard, and slide them over to get them out of my yard. And they're like 700 pounds apiece.
Because I was going to say for the hunting, all you need is a Sherpa.
All I need is what?
A Sherpa.
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 A mule.
Also known as friends.
Oh, yeah. to load up my trailer and everything here. I mean, you're missing out, Greg. It's nothing like loading a trailer up. And you just go put your stuff
I've
in
done
and
that.
go to a house. Holy moly.
We've
So-
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim, you gotta play. You just gotta play the card and just ask them about their
Yeah, the
dedication
problem-
and devotion.
I know the problem that I have is that you don't know, Larry. I pulled my ab muscle and flank muscle extremely bad. It's all bubbled out. It's been like that for 5 weeks now. I'm not supposed to pick anything up over 10 pounds.
It's like a hernia. Got it.
It's it's right next to one. I mean,
Whoa.
it will be if I goof around with it. But what happens is if I do something like sitting in this chair hurts right now because it's sitting kind of straight up. If I were to lean back and it'd be better, but it hurts for like 5 or 6 hours after I get done. I can't find a comfortable spot. And
Well-
the trailer, I have a toy hauler.
Yeah.
My bed is up high, so I have to climb up into the bed, and I have a hard time climbing up into my bed here that's only like this high.
Whoa, bless your heart.
So yeah, I know my friend Dave. I know I'll get because he's so funny. He'll be like, I'm just gonna sit around camp. They can do what they want to do, and I'm not gonna really work. I'm not gonna really try to get one. But after about 4 or 5 days, game face is on, and he'll come home with one. So I know I'll get close to half of one from him.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get one up there. So I'm
Wow.
not really worried about all that, but it's just putting in all that time for 3 years now, putting in, and then I go and do this. And then I got something else going on too. I got my mom is not good, so I'm gonna have to, she's probably not gonna make it. I got that. She's in the hospital right now. And it also came from a UTI. And a UTI, I think Greg knows because you're a retired pharmacist. She has no idea who she is, where she's from, nothing.
Yeah.
She's
That's
just
sad.
it's just done her in.
How old is
I'm
she?
dealing with that too right now.
Wow.
What's her age?
She's 80. It should be 89 in November.
Dang.
Yeah, she's not eating. She's mad. She didn't even know that she was born in Ohio. She didn't recognize my wife. She had no idea who she was.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's just my wife's aunt. She ended up dying from a UTI. It ended up killing her. She couldn't walk. My mom can't walk. She can walk like 2 steps and that's it.
Mm.
Yep. So I'm dealing with that too. I mean, that is what it is, but it's it's just everything right now.
You got things compounding, my friend.
Yeah, no, it's just great. As a matter of fact, I got this estate planning book right here, right in front of me, right
Oh,
now. My mom.
don't
It's
envy
where you
that.
wanted to spend your September reading.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wasn't in my plan. Let's put it that way.
No, especially since you finally drew a tag in Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. It's just a mess. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting sideways like this because too much pressure on my side. It makes it hurt.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you want to lean back and kick your feet up on the desk, nobody's going to say anything. Nobody
No,
cares.
I'm good. Just sitting sideways. I can't sit up
Well,
straight.
Jim, would you like for me to go with you and fill your tag? And
We-
we could
It's
use.
sitting right there in my gun safe. So
Barry, that is mighty kind of you to volunteer your time to go fill his tag
I appreciate that, Larry.
in Arizona.
In Arizona, it's northern Arizona, so you don't have to drive that far. That's a good 4 hours shorter than driving here.
And it was recorded.
Yes. It's recorded. So, ooh,
Yeah.
what's the party hunting laws in Arizona?
What's the what?
Party hunting laws in Arizona? Is party hunting illegal?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no.
See, now we have Larry recorded illegal acts.
Yeah, way to go, Larry.
That's blackmail material right there. The clucks. So I played around more with the Mountain King. I really, really
Oh yeah, I saw that on Facebook. It sounded
Like
really
that call. No,
Yeah.
I'm just noticing if I hold it right,
It disappears.
it's a magical reed. Don't set it down in the forest, because if you do, you won't find it.
It'll go away.
There it is.
So, no, the Mountain King was kind of funny. Is Sunday morning, or no, Monday morning, we went back up to where we were the first day, and was just sitting there doing some blind calling. And since ad coverage, I actually opened up my phone and jumped on their website, and I was like, oh, I'll order 3. And well, they were doing a Labor Day sale, so actually saved some money. So I ordered 3 more of them. So I would definitely highly recommend that one. So doesn't cow call the best, but for bugles, it's got a lot of control. So basically, what I was doing, I would do my cow sound. I'm never turning on this virtual background again.
You can't
So
turn it off, Larry. That's
I can't turn it off. So I was doing the cow sounds on the 450 from Native by Carlton, and then I would bugle on the cluck. But the cluck, I would do it 2 different ways. I would do it normal with that black reed down and get that raspiness, or sometimes, huffs and grunts and just whines. I would just do it with the blue latex down, which actually gave it a nice higher pitch. So, but great control. So definitely recommend the clucks. I did play around with the red and the purple a little bit, the drifter and the I don't remember what the other one is. But anyways, so they were good calls too. I just like that Mountain King a little bit more. So
It
okay.
was easier on that Mountain King. If you flip it over, you could do it both ways, but one way was better for me.
Yeah, so what you'll find is, and to answer your question, yes, I responded to your text, but for some reason it didn't go through. I find with these, I have to run them a little farther back, more where kind of I run my traditional turkey frames.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but man, running them back there, using that good part of the tongue, man, they had a lot of control. So you got a lot of good vocalizations, a lot of good control. But I mean, you know, that's the regular. You can hear in the chuckles how that black reed cuts loose a little bit and gives you a little bottom end. So now turning it upside down with the blue. Just a nice, clean note on that one.
You've got to rewind that and watch that when you did that.
Yeah, it just
There's no
Yeah.
tube. It just looks like you're blown into a tree, man.
Oh, did it really? Oh,
Yeah, the tube disappears. You see
Yeah,
your hand up there.
yeah, I see your hand, but there's nothing there.
It was camouflage. That's
Yeah, it
why.
sure is. Kind of stealth mode.
yeah. Well, the reason I turned the virtual background on is I actually have an elk right here in the room. It's just I got to reach over and pinch him a little bit to get him to be able to. Depending on where you pinch him, he's going to have a little bit more growl or less growl. So, oh,
when do you go back up?
Friday. So I'll just go up Friday for a couple of days and then come back right now. I don't go up. I think the 18th, 19th, I go up, then I'm up through the rest of the month. So something like that. So, I guess Jason Nelson didn't want to stick around very long tonight. So, I'm still recording, so I can't say any bad things about him. But anyways, so any questions? If not, we're going to wrap it up and we're going to call this done for the first Rut Report. Rut-oh, he's back again.
This is up there now, and he's all the people he knows up and around that he's seeing. He's giving them my phone number in case they see a bull.
A what? Oh, a moose?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not see any when I was over there. So, but I didn't go over into the areas that I was normally seeing moose at when we were over there hunting either.
We're picking them up on the cameras, but
Yeah, you had that
yeah.
1 or 2 on there. So
When is your moose hunt?
Jim asked when your moose hunt was.
Oh, it opened Friday and it closes November 23rd.
Oh, well,
Any weapon.
Preferably where he's at, get it done before November gets here. Otherwise, you're going to be hunting on snowmobiles and a good chance of deep snow.
Yes. The earlier the better.
Yeah. Well, I know when was over there. I can shoot you a couple of pins of where we got into quite a few. So, or just kind of let you know that area. So, but all right, guys. Well, I am going to jump off and
Michael, I got a couple questions popping in right at the end. Got the wrong serpentine belt, so now I'm back at the store.
oh, well, we had already asked you questions when you were on mute. So the fact that you didn't respond when we asked you questions, your ability to ask questions is now null and void until the next meeting.
I love the quality of service.
I aim to please. So no, what do you want?
First question. Face paint or no? Do you think it's worth the time?
I have worn it in the past. I've worn a lot of different brands. I've played with it. I mean, if y'all remember me telling the story of my first elk hunt, you remember I did the full-blown two-tone green military face paint. So I've worn a bunch of others. If it makes you feel more confident, go for it. I've killed probably way more bulls without face paint than I have with face paint. When you're backcountry for several days, it ends up
Everywhere.
yeah, everywhere. You end up feeling like Tammy Faye Baker, like you have 14 layers of makeup on your face. It's just, I mean, it is.
You want that on your face.
So, is it necessary? No. Is it fun? Absolutely, because you can do some really cool, fun designs.
Mhm.
Sounds good. One more question. The curious calf routine. How do you think that'll do if I'm sitting up in a stand, not moving?
Well, remember, you can turn your head and use your hand to throw sounds directional. So, when I was doing it, I was not standing up and walking around. I was actually sitting in the same place, just throwing the sound around. So you'll be fine.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Good luck.
I got a question.
Okay.
When pre-rut,
Yes.
first thing in the morning,
Yes.
what's your go-to call?
So it's always one of those things that in the morning when I'm moving to a certain place that I want to and I'm locating, I'm paying attention to what kind of responses I'm getting. If I hear a bull that during the location sequence, if he responds to a bull cow, that's going to tend to tell me that once I move in close, I always start off with cow sounds.
Okay.
The breeding sequence is just one of my favorites just because it's such a fun routine to do and it creates so much excitement, and you can take a completely quiet forest and just ramp it up.
Okay.
But there's a caveat on that. After stumbling back on the inviting area, the curious calf routine, I think pre-rut early season, that curious calf is just gonna be so much fun to do because it's non-threatening. It plays on maternal instincts. It also gets bulls coming. It can work early in the morning and it can work midday. It can work in the afternoon, evening. So pre-rut, that might be a good one to focus on.
Second question: if you have a cow tag, is your aim to bring the bull in and hope that he's bringing cows with him, or is it to bring cows in directly?
So if I have a cow tag, I am focusing solely on calf sounds. I am playing on the maternal
Okay.
instincts, and I'm going to go on.
Okay.
It's going to start with the curious calf, but then that calf is going to go into a distressed calf.
Okay.
So a lot of panic, a lot of urgency, and play on that maternal instincts.
Cool.
Yeah, I've done a lot of calf hunting, cow hunting, and I've called in bulls, and I've never had a bull bring in cows with them. I've had bulls come in, called bulls up, but never had a bull bring cows with them.
See, isn't that funny when we talked about that a lot of times the bulls are the first one coming in to defend the calf and protect the calf if they're in a distress situation? It's crazy.
Good to know. Very good.
Oh, all right. Well, that one snuck up and then went away. So, okay. Jason, you're just locked on the back of your seat.
Yeah, I'm driving over Vale Pass right now on my way to a muley hunt. So, wish I would have made the first part.
Wait, you're doing what?
Yeah, you heard that right. I'm going mule deer hunting, and then I'll go elk hunting later in the month.
Dude, I am seriously questioning your dedication here.
Did he say mule deer?
Yes, he
Get a
did.
rope.
That's right.
No, Jason, best of luck with that. I mean, high elevation mountain muley spotting and stalking are just so much stinking fun. But I made the comment that, so in Idaho, you can either get a regular deer tag or you can get a whitetail tag. If you have a regular deer tag, you can shoot a mule deer or a whitetail. But if you get the whitetail tag, you can only shoot a whitetail. But the whitetail tag is valid in some areas where the regular tag isn't. So anyways, this year I got a whitetail tag just because we're going to go up to Liz's bear hunting spot and do some fall rifle bear hunting and whitetail hunting. Well, I made the comment this weekend. Now, since I got that whitetail tag, all these monster bucks that we've had on cameras for the last 2 years are all of a sudden going to present themselves this year and just torment the piss out of me. And I'm just waiting for it to happen. So Jason, if that happens, I will take some nice cell phone photos of them and send them over to you and say, see, all you have to do is go elk hunting and big bucks come find you.
Absolutely.
That's my strategy to get elk this weekend. I'm going mule deer hunting.
Perfect. So, all right. Any
Yeah.
questions, fellas? Then by golly, here we go. As always, keep calling, keep practicing. More importantly, though, have fun. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Be safe, and we will see you guys next week on week 2 Rut Report for 2025. So,
Good luck
Thank
this
you.
week.
Good night.
thanks, guys.
All right. Good luck, fellas.